get your personal views about the venture industry, trends in the venture industry, and also in the tech industry. I mean, having come from a family of venture capitalists who are really good at putting together new VC models and picking trends, picking companies. I mean, you guys invested in Skype and Hotmail, right? Your father, right? Yeah, your dad did, right? Yeah. So obviously, we'd like to get your views as well. So let me start off with the venture industry first. Sure. There was a report by Kleiner Perkins maybe 2-3 years ago, and which talked about venture capitalists averaging about 10% on their return, and that was across the industry. Mm-hmm. And if you took out maybe the top 8 to 10 performers, the numbers were not so great.
Yeah, you might as well have bought.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were actually losing money at almost negative 30%. So what's your view on where do you see the whole venture model headed? Are we going to see a lot of new different type of financing models? Are this?
Well, I'll coin a phrase right now. Like the difference that happened between then and now was now there are mega funds. Like people are raising billions of dollars, and it's way more difficult to return billions of dollars than it is to return $100 million. And I think returns were better when the larger funds were raising $100 to $125 million. I think statistically, I remember reading this article that Kleiner was listed in, and it was statistically that was the best time, was when they were raising $125 million. But in order to get the best deals, they want a bigger fund. You want to be able to just sort of buy victory. So I think that's sort of one of the major changes in the venture industry that's really happened. And then also what's starting to happen, at least Silicon Valley is like, it's a little bubble here. I don't know if you guys get out much, but we have a little bit of a
There's nothing out there, Adam.
Yeah, one of us. I was in North Carolina recently, and valuations are very reasonable. They have a lot of traction. They have revenue, and they're raising like $500,000 on a $3 million valuation. Like you're like, oh, well, that seems pretty reasonable. It's just there's so much competition on the investor front right now because there's so much money around here. Facebook went public, Twitter went public, WhatsApp was bought. There's like tons of just money, and so that drives up valuations. That drives up the number of potential angel investors, and so that drives up the amount of capital that can be going towards these startups. A lot of people really want to become angel investors to be able to support the next generation WhatsApp for something else.
Yeah, I'm just getting your views on where you think the venture industry is moving. And do you think the smaller to mid-sized VCs, are they going to survive with all this movement going on?
Well, it's always a cycle. Like venture and private equity go into 7-year cycles like this, and it's I can't draw it in the air, but like there's an overlap of 7 years when like venture really takes off, and I would include angels in that spectrum. And then venture goes down and private equity goes up, and then venture goes up, private equity goes down. I think, the goal, okay, I'm going to quote the guy who gave me like the best advice when I was starting my accelerator. So when I started at Boost, I reached out to all these accelerators who had began. And David Tisch, who started Techstars NYC, I said, hey, it was literally like a 5 to 10 minute call. It was a very short call. But I've quoted him on this advice so many times that it's like 5 to 10 minutes was worth every penny. And he said, and I said, I'm about to do what you did a year ago. Like, what do you have any advice? And he said, yeah, I do. Pick winners. And I said, okay. Like
I was going for the other one.
Yeah, of course. What that did for me though was it raised the bar of the type of company I was going to let into Boost, and I was actually going to accept 15 companies into my first session, and because of that advice, I only accepted 7, and so it ended up being really, really good advice. So as far as the who's going to fall out and not succeed, it's like pick good companies, right. And like good investors will be around. Yeah. People say that venture is like going downhill a little bit, or I think it's going through a change, and because of the internet, because now you can sort of crowdfund, because of these different cool technologies that are really starting to take off and people are starting to use more casually. It is going through a change, but it's always going to be here. It's been around since Christopher Columbus raised from Queen Isabella, the ultimate fundraise. Like, I'm going to go across the Atlantic. and see what's out there.
Was that a 20% convertible note?
I think it was much more favorable for Isabella. So if you actually read the story of this, I use it, it's like the best fundraising analogy ever. It took him years to raise the money to be able to go across the ocean. Like, no, everyone was like, no, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. And he tried to raise from every leader, everyone. But I think he just talked to everyone, and then he got back to Queen Isabella rejected him like 2 times. And then got back, and she was like, well, you know, we're rich right now, so yeah, sure, why don't you try this? And I think she got like 60% of everything or something like that, so yeah.